benzoaminopurin, BAP, 1 ml of ppm, that's your biocide, agar or cotton balls, filtered water or distilled water, and vinegar and baking soda. To make sterile water, fill a pint jar 1/2 full of distilled, filtered, or tap water. Place a plastic cap or a metal lid with a ring on loosely. Process in the microwave or in the pressure cooker, as we will describe later. A metal lid and ring can be placed on a jar that is to be processed in the pressure cooker. Never use metal in your microwave. The jar that is processed in the microwave will need special attention. The cap may pop off during processing. If this happens, stop the microwave, replace the cap, and start again. You may have to start and stop the microwave several times. A total of 10 minutes in the microwave seems to produce safe water. To make African violet medium, fill a quart jar or a liter jar with about 3 cups of distilled water. Add MS medium from the packet and stir. Add 2 tablespoons of table sugar and stir again. As a safety precaution, put on gloves and goggles. Add 1 ml of BAP. This is your plant growth regulator that will cause shoot formation in your leaves. Add enough water to bring the volume to 1 quart or 1 liter. Mix well with a spoon. Here is a 1 quart container and a 1 liter container. So let's make some media. First you add water to the jar, and then the MS medium. Mix this well. Add sugar and mix again. Cut the seal on the bottle or remove the tape and add the hormone and the biocide. Mix again. This is optional. Add 1 drop of food coloring. I use blue for BAP. Food coloring identifies the media. This comes in handy when you make lots of different kinds of media. Add enough water to bring the volume to 1 quart or to 1 liter. Mix well. pH is the measure of the acidity or the alkalinity of a solution. pH is important because different nutrients needed by the plants cannot be absorbed unless the pH is between 5.5 and 5.8. If the pH is not adjusted, these chemicals will precipitate and fall to the bottom like small rocks. The plant will not have them available for food. These are used to measure pH. To use pH paper, test the pH of the media by dipping an edge of the wide range pH paper into the solution. Compare the color of the wet pH paper to the pH color chart. These pH papers have been dipped in solution. The pH is determined by matching the paper to the color chart. The pH should be between 5 and 6. If the pH is too high, add a few milliliters of vinegar and test again. If the pH is too low, below 5, add a pinch of baking soda, mix well, and then test again. Continue this process until the pH is between 5 and 6. To better adjust the pH, to 5.6 to 5.8, dip the edge of the narrow range pH paper into the solution. Add vinegar or baking soda as needed to bring the pH to the correct level. This is the pH paper that comes with our kits. If you make a lot of media, you might want to consider purchasing a handheld pH meter. It is much easier to use than pH paper. We will be including the handheld pH meter in some of our kits in the future. Here we are demonstrating the handheld pH meter. If the pH is too high, above 6.0, add a few drops or a few milliliters of vinegar. If the pH is too low, add a large pinch of baking soda. Keep adding and retesting until the pH is satisfactory. Be sure to mix well. Now that the media is ready, it's time to put it into the baby food jars. First, you add 3 tablespoons of media to each baby food jar. Then you add 1/2 level pink spoon of agar to each jar. Place a polypropylene cap, which is called a magenta B cap, on each jar. Here we are adding 3 tablespoons of liquid media to each baby food jar. This is a Cornwall pipetter. Basically, it is a syringe with tubing attached. This allows you to pump the media into the culture vessels. A Cornwall pipetter costs about $150, but used ones can be found. You will get a sore hand from this device, but it can be very useful. To add agar, scoop up a pink spoonful of agar, level it with a spatula or a knife. Remove about 1/2 of the agar and add this to the baby food jar. Cotton balls can be used in place of agar for some plants. Add 2 cotton balls for each baby food jar. You can use a forceps or a knife to press down the cotton. This is optional. Place plastic caps on the baby food jars. Press down for a tight fit. These caps are much easier to work with than the metal baby food jar caps. These are the magenta caps that we mentioned earlier, and these do come in the basic kit and in the advanced kits. Media and water can be processed with a microwave or a pressure cooker. When using a microwave, place a paper towel in a Pyrex pie pan and place 4 to 5 baby food jars in the pan. Place another Pyrex pan on top to prevent the caps from popping off. Then place all of this into the microwave on a turntable. Microwave 3 to 4 minutes on high. Time will vary, but liquid should boil 1 full minute. Wear hot pad gloves to remove jars from oven. Swirl to mix agar, but do not hold jar by the cap. A turntable is necessary for even heating. Baby food jars are placed in a Pyrex dish. A second glass plate is placed on top to prevent caps from popping off. This is placed in the microwave and processed for about 3 minutes. Microwaves will differ. Time will vary from 2 to 4 minutes. Watch the liquid in the jar. The liquid should boil for a total of 60 seconds. Use caution. The jars are very hot. Allow them to sit for about a minute to allow steam to escape. Wearing a hot mitt glove, pick up the hot jar and swirl to mix. Do not pick up by the cap. The cap is hot and will slip off easily. Jars with cotton balls do not have to be swirled. Load the pressure cooker per manufacturer's recommendations. Don't forget to add water to the pressure cooker. Process for 15 to 20 minutes as directed by the manufacturer. Do not leave cooker unattended. Temperatures will fluctuate. Water is usually added to a depth of about 1 inch. Load the pressure cooker and turn the heat source on high. Place cover on unit and lock in place. The starting pressure is 0. As the temperature increases, you will see steam escaping from the weight spout, as indicated with the white bar. Allow steam to escape for several minutes. This will exhaust cooler air from the chamber. Add the weight. Once this pops up, the pressure in the chamber will start to increase. Do not leave pressure cooker unattended. Temperatures will fluctuate and units can explode. Note that the pressure is increasing. Do not allow the pressure to go too high. 15 psi is ideal. Lower the heat to control the pressure. Process 15 to 20 minutes at 15 psi. Then turn off heat and allow pressure to come to 0. Remove pressure weight and allow steam to escape. Remove cover carefully to avoid being burned. Carefully remove jars. Swirl to mix if they contain agar. Do not hold jars by the cover. These are examples of culture vessels processed in the microwave or in the pressure cooker. Allow these to cool and use within a few weeks. Store in large Ziploc bags to minimize possible dust contamination. In part 3, we'll do basic tissue culture of leaves, buds, and seeds. This will include African violet leaves, axillary buds of roses, and orchid seeds, both from green pods and dry seed. In this section, we're going to show you basic tissue culture technique. We will culture African violet leaves, axillary buds, and